Hi, my name's Rabbi Jonny Hughes. I'm the Associate Rabbi at Hendon United Synagogue and also the Tribe JFS Coordinator. The question I've been asked is, what is Shatnez? Well, the idea of Shatnez relates to having kosher clothing. Food isn't just kosher, your clothes have to be kosher. And I'm not referring to modesty, I'm referring to the very fabric of the garment. The Torah says twice, one in Leviticus and one in Deuteronomy, that we are not permitted to wear a garment which has the fabric of linen and wool combined in that garment. That's called Shatnez, which is an acronym for combed, spun, woven in Hebrew, meaning the process to get the finished article is to comb, spin and weave the thread. So when we buy new clothes, we have to take them to a Shatnez laboratory where the item is checked to see whether there is wool and linen weaved together in the same garment. And every time we check, let's say a jacket or a suit, which are suspicious articles because they're made predominantly of wool, there could be some threads of linen there, we go to the laboratory and it's checked and the clothing is given the seal of approval. This is from the Shatnez Center, and there's the London Beth Din stamp of approval that this is a kosher jacket. So it seems at first glance to be a bit of a wild concept, having to have clothes without wool and linen in the same garment. What's the reason for this? So there are perhaps 4 reasons I'd like to share with you. Clothes are uniquely human. Animals don't wear clothes. We may dress some poodles in clothes, but really, human beings are the only creature that have clothes. So Shatnez is a message uniquely for human beings, telling us that when you go about your daily life, in your clothed life, out in society, remember to make sure your actions are kosher. And there's a constant reminder through our clothing that that's the case. Maimonides gives us a different answer. He says that the original idolatrous priests in the wider Mesopotamia region would wear garments made from wool and linen mixtures, and therefore we refrain from doing so to stamp our ideology upon ourselves that we are separate from the pagan worshippers. A third idea is about the symphony of creation. In Judaism we believe that every material, living, non-living, has its right place. We believe in a dramatic symphony of all creation, that everything has its right place, and to maintain this divinely commanded orderliness, we keep certain things apart. Milk and meat, different types of grain we keep apart, and also clothing. Wool and linen must remain unique, which teaches us on an individual level that all of us have a unique contribution to make, and we shouldn't try to blur the distinctions between people, rather they should be a shining example on their own as a unique individual. There's a Midrash that says that in the time of creation, in Genesis, Cain and Abel both brought sacrifices to God. Cain brought God an offering of flax, which is the source of linen, and Abel brought to God a sacrifice of wool. And we know what happened. Cain eventually killed Abel because his sacrifice was actually accepted, and because of this feud and bloodshed that was associated with the combination of wool and linen, we now, as a countermeasure, keep them apart. Also we see that in the Torah, to love your neighbor as yourself, or "V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha," that injunction is juxtaposed with the commandment not to wear Shatnez, teaching us again, in order to love our neighbors as ourselves, we have to recognize his unique role and not try and be jealous of him and encroach upon his life, that we have to respect each other as unique individuals. There's a story when the Mir Yeshiva that was rooted in Lithuania was moved and put into exile during the war years to Shanghai, that there was a story that the students of the yeshiva there would actually wear their normal suits during the week, but they were given new suits to wear on the Chagim, on the special days. And on Yom Kippur, There was an incident where one of the students in the yeshiva felt that his prayers, his davening wasn't being accepted. He couldn't feel the same kavanah, the same meaning in his prayer. He didn't feel that he could achieve that sense of concentration. So he changed back into his weekday suit, and he could feel that he could pray properly again. And after that day had gone out, they had the suit, the special suit that they had for Chag, checked in the laboratory, and they found traces of Shatnez there, as if Shatnez was a blockage to communication with the divine. But having said all of these reasons, really the human mind and the power of rational thought can't truly comprehend this mitzvah not to wear Shatnez. It's one of the statutes we say and describe as a chayk, which means a statute of the Torah which is not necessarily fully comprehended by the human mind. That really defines the special nature of Judaism, whereby some of what we do, and indeed perhaps all of what we do, is to build a relationship between ourselves and Hashem and God. In marriage, this happens all the time. A husband likes his chicken cooked in a certain way, not too cooked, not too raw, has to be just right. And the loving wife cooks it for him, doesn't ask questions. It's part of building relationships, doing things because the partner wants it that way. Hashem has said we can't wear Shatnez. That's part of our divine service. Like a spouse, loyal to that concept that sometimes we just don't understand or fully appreciate what's going on, but we build the relationship through that.